Hello, and welcome to the Frivolous and Frugal Knitting Podcast. We're a podcast of two sisters who share our fondness for knitting, the things that we create, and our love for the knitting community. And we do it all with a little twist of both the frivolous and the frugal. I am Frivolous Dawn, and really, I'm just a skosh frivolous, I think, yeah. And I am the middle child. I am the fourth of 8 in our family's birth order.
And for the record, if you have to put a qualification, you're about to hit us with a bomb that will clearly disprove your Scotia frivolousness. Anyway, my name is Frugal Miss Penny, as in the name. I'm the frugal one of the two, and I am the oldest in the birth order. We are delighted and send out a heartfelt welcome to our returning viewers. It just is so fun to have you participating in our podcast and in our other social media venues. So thank you so much for returning. And for those of you who are first-time viewers, it just warms our heart that you are giving us a shot. So we hope that today, during our episode, that you glean a nugget or two from our knitting adventures. So grab your knitting, your favorite note-taking device, and a sense of humor because we are about to embark on episode 35. Take it away, Dawn.
Well, thank you. So we always start with, what are we wearing? So that is beautiful, that sweater you have on.
Well, thank you. This is the very first sweater I ever knit, 2002. It is knit in Plymouth Encore in the multi-colorway. And I knit it on size 6 and size 9 needles. The pattern is literally called Neck Down Cardigan, and it came through the company Pure and Knitting Simple, but actually the designer is Diane Soucy. So I've loved this sweater for years. I think I just continue to wear it because it just fits me like an old shoe. And I gave it a $1 sign on the frugalometer for both the fiber and the pattern.
Well, you need to wear that color more often.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that, but I do like it. Thank you.
Yeah, it looks very nice on you.
Thank you. What about you?
Well, I was going to say I'm not wearing anything. That's not a good visual. Okay.
What the emperor said.
This is Verdon by Melanie Berg.
Dawn.
I think I knit it about a year ago, and it is huge. I put it on this mannequin because I thought it showed it better. Let me twirl her a little bit. I think the back is just as pretty as the front.
I do too.
So
absolutely.
it is a long and very wide rectangle. It was done in Rosy Green Wool Merino. It's a sport weight. It was 4 colorways. And again, it's a German company, I believe, so I cannot pronounce the colorways. I did it on a size 5 and 6, and it was a lesson for me in short rows. And I think, of course, Melanie Berg, I think, writes a nice pattern, but I could not get these short rows for these angle changes. And I had to pick them up. I bet I tore it out 5 or 6 times. I tried thinking there was a pattern error. I went and met with our little yarn shop's knit doctor. She thought maybe the pattern wasn't right. And I finally talked to some people who had done it, and they're like, just trust the pattern, it blocks out. And then they said, literally, trust the pattern. Don't change anything. So I went back to German short rows, and they were absolutely right. It blocked out. So that was a good lesson on staying with it. And after you've done multiple 100 times of German short rows, you do get a little bit better. It's amazing. I think, again, I knit that a year ago. It's a paid for pattern on Ravelry, and I would give it probably just off the top, probably a 2 or 3, probably a 2 on the frugalometer. And to be honest, I bought this at Stitches Midwest, the yarn. But again, I would guess most of my yarns are a 2 or a 3. So yeah, lovely. I would definitely wear it. Very warm because it's sport weight. So I wear it more like a schlanket than I do than a shawl. So just throw it over your shoulders, and
it's very elegant.
I like it. And it is in those gray colors that you're seeing. And then there's a very little bit of green over here, but it's green on the edge of gray. So it's very muted.
but very elegant. I have a
Yeah.
quick question since I am not nearly as experienced in German short rows as you are. Is it, or is there a tendency to knit those wrap and turns too tightly? Is that what made it look wonky until you blocked it? Or
Yeah.
what did you learn?
A German short row is not a wrap and turn.
Oh,
It is where you
okay.
pull the stitch back and the two legs of your stitches go back over the needle, creating two stitches. And you knit those together eventually, but I don't know if you can see the line that they create.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I don't know in the beginning whether I was pulling that too tight, but it was causing this edge, and you can see it just a little bit to bow,
Okay.
and that was bugging me.
All right.
But there's a wrap and turn, there's a German short row, there's twin stitches, there's all different ways to do that. And I don't know why I tried to make it so much harder than it was. Follow the pattern, dude. How many times am I going to say that before I believe it? It
Well,
is, I don't knit with sport weight very much. I like it.
oh, do you? Is
Yeah,
it
I
the
would,
weight or
yeah,
just okay.
I like that in between because worsted to me can get very heavy very quickly.
Mhm. Mhm.
And sometimes you need just a little bit more than a fingering. So I would say it's maybe not quite a fingering held double.
Ooh, how
Yeah,
nice.
I like it. I
Beautiful.
would use that yarn again for sure.
Oh, good. Well, the other two things that are being modeled today on my end are, as you can see, Opal, if she had feet, would be wearing these socks today. Um, unfortunately, that didn't come in her package. Um, Here is the sock that she is wearing. It is called the Blueberry Waffle Top. I'm the Blueberry Waffle Toe Up Sock. First toe up sock I ever knit. And it's by Sandy Turner. And I knit this in Kroy, Patons Kroy FX in the Clover Colors. Very pretty colors, very autumnal. You can
Yeah.
see that even here, probably a little bit better. Fun pattern, very intuitive at the top. I knit them on size 1.5s. And
Oh,
so I gave them a single dollar sign for both fiber and pattern. This is a Ravelry pattern as well. So I believe it's free. I could be wrong, but I
I,
believe it's free.
I think you're right. And I think it's a popular sock pattern.
I can see why. I can see why. I'm not still totally an avid toe up fan. I see the advantages and I like that. I'm just not nearly as experienced in that method yet. So when we do our cast on for Christmas Eve, I will think about doing a toe up. We'll see. And then you will see Monique in the background. She is sporting the double thick cuff hat, and that is by Staci Perry. It's knit in mint rain superwash worsted in the Red Wings colorway, and I knit that on a size 6. About $4 signs, $3 to $4 on the frugalometer for the fiber. It is an indie dyed fiber, and $1 sign for the pattern.
Yeah, I like that pattern. I think that was the one I was thinking of to do the double brim for.
Oh, yeah. I've done 2 with double brims. This
Yeah.
one is a folded hem.
Okay.
Mhm.
But you said that Perry beanie was like for the Antarctic.
Yeah. Well, that
So
was because of my pitiful yarn choice. Or totally inappropriate, should I say.
all right. Well, do you have anything off your needles?
No, ma'am.
All right.
The
I just
only
have
thing off
one.
here is I'm off my rocker. But apart from that, no.
I was gonna say you're off your stitch count.
Oh, that too. I'm off on a couple things today. What about you? Anything off your
I
needles?
finished a hat.
You did?
So I know. Yeah, we'll talk about the pom pom. Yes.
Oh,
So,
how can you avoid talking about the pom pom for heaven's sakes?
oh man. Okay. So this was the slipped rib hat by Jody Brown. It's a paid for pattern on Ravelry. She's one of the grocery girls. The yarn is Lana Gatto. The gray color here is it's what they call Lana Gatto Camel. It's like
Oh,
85% merino, 15% camel. And then you can't see it in there really, but there's an alpaca, almost like a mohair in there. And that also was a Lana Gatto Brooklyn base. But does this pom-pom rock or what? So I did get a package from Czechoslovakia. It came much faster this time. Okay, is that not? Look at that. It is honking. I think
it
it's
is.
like 5.5 or 6 inches. Why would you not? So, and of course, I can't order just one pom pom because if you're bringing stuff from Czechoslovakia, you might as well get a nice bag that you have to sign for. Okay, hold on. 7 inch.
Oh,
I'm gonna put it on my head. Look at that. Oh, you can't see it because everything's white. Look how big that is. This is going to our sister Nikki. I don't care what the hat is. She is gonna love it. And so then I did get some other just like 6 inch ones. But look at this one, kind of pink. I know. I know. And if you're interested in these, and you should be, because why would you not? The Etsy shop, I'll include it in the show notes, but it's Achilles Original Art, all one word. I think 10 days from Czechoslovakia. And
oh,
it's no shipping. So if you're going to order one, order a dozen. And if anybody else is going to order, I'll add some stuff to your list.
oh.
Can you imagine Nikki wearing this? This is like,
Well, I can because she's going to receive it, as I understand it, for Christmas.
at least for one complimentary picture. And of course, I use that button method to attach them. So if anybody doesn't want the pom-pom, you could just take it off. And I did get a black one too, or several black ones maybe, as I look over on the, okay.
I'm thinking back to our episode where you said you always wanted to be a cheerleader. You've got your pom-poms going, girl.
Um, so yarn, that was Frugal yarn, I think. So I'd give it a 2
Oh,
on the
good.
frugalometer. Pattern, probably a 2. Pom-pom, priceless. Right, priceless. Who even needs to use a frugalometer? And size 5s and 7s. If I knit that hat again, I would like it, the fabric a little more dense. So I would just drop down a needle size.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that'll go,
Interesting.
yeah, that'll go in the gift box, I think so.
Well,
All
very
right.
pretty, very pretty.
So what's on your needles?
Well, I
Vi?
have 2 projects, well, 3. I'm always working on my alliteration scarf, so I won't talk about that. But I have made some progress on Wingspan.
Are you really? Let's
So
see.
there have been a couple comments in our threads. So here is Wingspan, and the way it's written, because of the short rows, I'm only on row, I think, 16. However, you can see where the thickness of the garment, the width is coming in on the sides.
Yeah.
So let me show you the front of it. This is a pattern by Kyle Vey. Very pretty. It is probably a 4 on the frugalometer, and my yarn is definitely a $5 sign on the frugalometer. Right now I have it on a US size 3. I'll keep it on there until the bind off, then I'll go to a 7. I would say this yarn is definitely going to gradiate on its own. It's a gradient. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
But it's my slow going one. I cannot be thinking about anything else because there are brand new stitches and techniques I've never used before. I got to just say one thing. If you knit this pattern, I hope you're as amazed as I am about how Kyle has you switch the order, and that's all I'm going to say, switch the order of the stitches to get a specific look in fabric. Crazy cool, but nothing I could ever do in public. And actually in the pattern it says that it should become intuitive. It's not intuitive for me yet.
Okay.
But I'm plugging along.
Gosh, I can't wait to see the color changes too.
Yeah. You might as well wait until about 2023 or 4, I'm guessing. At this rate, just saying. What about you? What's on your needles?
quick update on Kisses by the Sea. I was hoping, of course, last week and the week before I said it was going to be done, and it is not. Now, this is a paid for pattern by Joji Locatelli. I'm doing it as part of the Joji Fall Knit Along. So my colors are really blowing out today, but
Oh, look at
I'm
that.
finally on the border. You can see that starting
Look
to
at
come
that
down.
pretty blue.
Yeah, and it's called Glacier, which I think is a perfect colorway
Yes,
name. And it's
yes.
just garter. And I'm knitting now until the yarn is gone. The pattern calls, I believe, for an 18 row garter stitch and then cast off. I think I'm going to make that. I'm just not quite to half of the yarn used, and I'm at like 10 stitches or 10 rows. So I will do that. It calls for a picot bind off, but I think I'm going to use the Channel Island bind off. That is a bind off by Michelle Hunter that I
Mhm.
like, that is a more stable looking picot to me. But yeah, I only do that, of course, when Mr. Stephen West has completed his assignments for the week and I have some extra time. So I had one day to do that, and I had a couple of meetings. So that was nice because that's straight garter. And I think 550 stitches. So
On on your needles right now.
yeah, yeah. And it just increases 2 stitches every other row, I think.
Okay.
So it's not going to increase much more. But that's just when you're mindless knitting, that's a breeze. But
Mhm.
if you are thinking, okay, I'm going to get through 8 rows today, whew, I can't even go there in my head because I get lost halfway through the first row. So that is in Ba yarn. The ivory color is in the La Jolla base. That colorway is called La Perla. The other two colors, the gray and the blue, are in the Ba yarn Savannah base. And I know the blue is Glacier. I can't remember what gray is. It may just be gray. And I'm gonna look quick so I get the sizes right. That is, the entire shawl was knit on a US size 5. So,
It's beautiful, Dawn. And I would agree with several of our viewers. The shawls you knit are stunning.
wow,
Just stunning. That's
thank
definitely
you.
your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I would say that I would agree. And I wear them a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So, and now that it's getting cooler, even though I'm teaching from home, I throw a shawl on. So,
Hmm. Cool.
yeah. Anything else on your needles?
Yes, ma'am. I cast on number 5 of the hashtag 6 sweet sweaters. And I cast on, I thought I would bring you a picture. It is called the Crocus Cardigan. It's a pattern that I have had for years. And I believe I copied it from the leaflet that I got at the store or at the knit shop. But this
Oh,
is what it's going to look like. It's
oh,
just a cute little sweater, and it is designed by Annie Dempsey. And again, it's called the Crocus Cardigan because of that crocus border along the bottom edge. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to bleed into a little bit about what I'm learning. This week, I struggled looking at my yarns, trying to figure out which fiber would be best suited for the patterns that I still need to knit. And I just didn't have one that I thought was a solid that would really highlight this pattern. So I broke it to the aunties last night. I went ahead and caked up the yarn I was going to use for our tenacity cast on. We're going to do an aunties knit along that will cast on the first of the year. And I just decided it's a beautiful, it's called
yeah.
Raspberry Rose, just a beautiful color for a little girl. And I thought, you know what? My lesson this week, I just need to loosen my grip. I need to not hang on so tightly to some of those yarns that I'm saying it's only for this. I want to loosen my grip, and you'll hear more about this later, because in so doing, then I might find another project that would fit that yarn, right?
Right.
So I learned how to loosen my grip. This is being knit right now on size 3s. I'm sorry, size 4s. I'll drop down to a size 3. The yarn I'm using, first time user of Valley Yarns. This is in the Charlemont base. I like it so far. Little bit of silk in here, so there's going to be drapiness. Superwash wool. On the frugalometer, the pattern in Ravelry I would put as a $2 sign. And then, I'm sorry, actually a $3 sign for the pattern. And I would say a $2 sign for this Yarn Valley silk blend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the only other thing on my needles right now.
I
And
need
again,
it.
I can't knit it in public. I messed it up knitting it during knitting with the aunties last night.
I need a shawl in that colorway, by the way.
Oh, Dawn, that would be a beautiful color for you.
All
All
right,
right,
now,
we need an update on the big mystery.
right. So if you're not interested in seeing the Stephen West or you don't want a spoiler, feel free to speed forward. I would love to say, and we'll put a timestamp on the screen, but I have no idea how to do that. So, Slip Stravaganza by my dear friend Stephen West. So it is huge now. It is over 450 stitches. So let's see if I can walk through the clues. So clue 1 was this honeycomb. And if you haven't heard me say it, I guess it's worth saying again. That was a completed section. You bound off and everything. And then we went back and picked up stitches. So this mosaic column pattern introduced the pop color, which for me is the pink. This is all slip stitches. And then the clue we had for last week was what he referred to as the diamond pattern. And let's see if I can get that out. Oh, you can see it there.
Oh,
Pretty good.
oh, yes, you can. Now I
Yeah.
can see it.
Yeah. And so that was for last week. So my anal retentive husband got his calculator out. No, he probably did this on his iWatch. 450 stitches times 64 rows. He says, you're only knitting 28,000 stitches this week. Don't tell me that. I can't say that ever really became intuitive either, but the pattern was well written. Now, yesterday dropped the new clue, and I just started it. And it's going to be another slip stitch. He calls it checks, and I haven't figured out yet. I can't see anything yet because I've only done one set of slip stitches. And the other clue, I hope it's done for next week. It is a geometric pattern, a large geometric pattern that's going to go across. So that will be the third of 4 clues. So a week from now, we'll at least know what the finished shawl will look like, and we will have our ending points for small, medium, or large. I am just about to finish my first skein of the main color. I have plenty left of the other 3, and so I don't think I'll run out. But this yarn is luscious. It is Mode Knit Yarns. She is an indie dyer in the Minneapolis area, and the base is called Mode Knit Luxe. Sock. It is a 50% merino, 50% silk, and the three grays, of course. And this pink, I lost the ball band too, so I have no idea what the colorway is. But the 3 grays are coal is the darkest, platinum is the lightest, and pewter is the medium gray. Yeah, so I really am thrilled with it. If you want to see some amazing color choices, look at the spoiler pages. Everything literally across the board. And now, this week he said we could do the mohair dare if we wanted to. But I figure with the silk, I don't need anything extra, so I'm not going to add a mohair. And he also said for that geometric pattern that we're going to be doing, if you wanted to introduce the fourth contrasting color, if you wanted to, what the heck, he says, it's your shawl. So
wow.
yeah, so far we're halfway and I've been able to keep up. I'm not so sure I'll be able to do that this week because I'm back to school. Our fall break is over. So
okay.
Yeah, so I'm in love with it. I never know. Frugalometer, I'd call that yarn probably a 3 or a 4. And then the pattern, I'm going to say was a 2. To be honest, I can't remember what it was, but
it wouldn't have mattered to you anyway.
Yeah, it wouldn't have. You're right. And he's got his birthday sale going on. So I think all of his patterns right now are 30% off.
Oh, wow.
So if you have any in your cart that people are thinking about, I think this is a good time to purchase
Now
them.
that is a savings. I think
Yeah.
30% is a nice savings.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
That would-
that's
Yeah,
very
so I
nice.
am thrilled with it. And thank you for all the encouragement I'm getting both on the Ravelry discussion boards as well as the YouTube comments. I can't wait to see what some of the other ladies in our group, if we get to see those. So, so far so good. It's been a good first
Absolutely.
Stephen West mystery knit along for me.
So what have you been learning this week?
Well, actually, it goes back to the mystery knit along. It's like, do you trust me? So, he's got that cute little face when he's talking to you in the videos, because I'm pretty sure he's talking right to me. Okay.
He is Dawn. He is
Uh-huh,
talking
sure.
right to you.
But it's like the thrill of a mystery knit along. Now, it's working well for me, so I'm going to say it's a thrill because I like what's happening. But I think there's also that little bit of anxiousness when the new clue releases and you're thinking, "Ooh, am I going to like it or am I not?" And because he's so atypical in his construction techniques, and he definitely pushes the edges of color combinations, it is a little risky. But I keep thinking, for me, I trusted the entire journey. I don't swatch, but I swatched. I did that lazy swatch. I watched those videos and I took that class he offered to talk about color combinations and what works and what fights. And maybe all that preliminary work sets you up with a little more likelihood to be successful. But also to read I can't keep up with all of the Ravelry chat, but you can see color combinations that aren't very complementary to each other. And then of course you see some that are stunning. I saw one where the entire shawl is in the same color. The entire shawl is in like a autumn gold.
What?
And you see you can see the pattern in there.
You can.
I
Okay.
would never have guessed that if you went monochromatic, that it would be, but it's stunning in a totally different way. So anyway, on and on. But that's what I'm learning is to enjoy the journey, trust the pattern, and have some fun
I
and
think that's great advice,
play with fuzzy balls. No.
Dawn. So I'm going to go on to the next segment so that I don't have to fetch her out of prison. We would like to keep you updated on Frivolous and Frugal and what's happening with us. We are nearing our 1,000 subscriber mark.
Yeah.
So the moment we do, we are going to have a big giveaway. And we haven't decided if that's going to be one or several gifts. So as Nikki would say toward the end of the episode, if you like us, please share, like, and invite someone else to give us a view, if you would. Secondly, in Frivolous and Frugal, we have our knit along, and it's called FinishFixorFrogItKAL. And that thread in Ravelry is inspiring. It is fun. It is encouraging. If you lack even a dose of self-confidence or need a bit of assurance, post your projects there, because those who are participating have wonderful ideas and very, very complimentary, which I do believe are honest remarks. So we invite you all to post that picture. We are going to draw that next winner during episode 36. So make sure you get in on it.
Yeah.
And finally, we just had a drawing for our YouTube. If you will remember, our episode 34 question is, what is your knitting why? And I don't know about you, Dawn, but I was touched, if I can say that, by reading everyone's whys.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the random number generator last night selected, are you ready? Shy moment, Ms. Dawn from Ohio. Congratulations. You are our winner. And we just have to say something, okay? So Dawn and I come from a large family, and we might have a mother that's kind of like you, and maybe a faithful Nikki sister that's kind of like you. but both of us could hardly respond to your post when you said, by September 1st, I have all my Christmas presents completed and wrapped.
Wrapped.
And Dawn so appropriately asked, for which year? The previous year or the previous 3 years? I am the previous 3 years. But Miss Dawn, we can't wait to meet you face to face. And I just got to tell you something, darling. I'm in your neck of the woods pretty frequently. So we're going to have to get together and knit sometime. But if you would, please send me your email address. You can either email me at the email address below in the show notes, or you can touch bases with me in Ravelry and I will get your gift to you fairly quickly. So thank you so much for joining. And in episode 40, we are going to have another question and get ready to give another giveaway from YouTube. So don't hesitate to join in on the wonderful dialogue and conversation.
Yeah, and I am amazed right now about where our new viewers, when they introduce themselves, are coming from. We had somebody from Wales. It's like,
Isn't it neat?
wow. And of course, the Canadian group is growing larger and larger. So thank you to our Canadian friends. And just all across the United States, I tell you, it just tickles me pink and warms my heart when I see the comments, but also just where people are coming from. And yeah, I don't know. It all is just beyond anything we expected when we started. So
Yes, I totally agree.
yeah. And I think, thank you to Miss Karen. She got back to you, right?
She sure did. And I just need to say something. I need to publicly confess that it was not Miss Karen's oversight. It was mine. And she did email me just like I asked, but I presumed that that email was from another Karen and I did not open it. Not that I don't like the other Karen, but I knew it could wait. So yes, her gift will go in the mail today. And so we hope you like it, Miss Karen.
Well, why don't you live on the edge and throw in an extra one of your project bags? Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Woo!
speaking of project bags, I just have to say, Miss Cindy from Pennsylvania has taken my Ziplocs to a whole new level. Miss Cindy is a faithful viewer and participant from PA at Pennsylvania. And I had a surprise in my mailbox. So anyone who knows me knows I love surprises. I don't want to know anything ahead of time. I just want it all to be a surprise. She sent me in a vacuum sealed bag a skein of baby yarn, as well as, can I tell you, oodles of baby patterns. Miss Cindy, your unexpected thoughtfulness was such a blessing.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to knit out of these. I am excited. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do for Frivolous and Frugal and for your faithfulness. So she is our first honorable mention today. And our second honorable mention goes out to MB Misty Blue on Ravelry. She sent me a list of baptismal or christening set patterns. Oh, darling, those were beautiful. Thank you for doing that for us. And she also gave us a bit of marketing advice, which I thought was very helpful. So Dawn has so eloquently put a little plug in the Grocery Girls thread for Plug Your Podcast about Frivolous and Frugal. So thank you for the idea, Miss Misty. We appreciate it. Takes a village. Absolutely takes a village.
Agreed.
All right. Dawn, do you have anything before we go to What Would Nikki Say?
No, I don't. I don't think.
Okay. I didn't know if you had like just this, eureka moment or thought that you wanted to share.
No, except there's a little present heading toward Miss Norma in Calgary. So
Okay. So Miss Norma, this is all I'm going to tell you. We spent an hour last night on Knitting with the Aunties, pursuing our next Knitting with the Aunties road trip. And believe it or not, destination Calgary. And you know who brought that up. Anyway, We can't wait to see you. We're going to come knit with you sometime within the next decade. All right. So as we close today's episode, as always, we like to share a little tidbit from our dear sister, Faithful Nikki, who is as much an avid golfer as we are knitters. This week's What Would Nikki Say is this: learning a new stitch or adjusting the grip on the putter can be a challenge at first. But when you've completed the project or your round of golf, it'll bring you a smile for your accomplishment. And
Oh,
I
that's
agree,
good.
making changes and trying something new is a challenge, but in the end, it should bring us a smile. And Nikki would also say, if you like us, please like us on YouTube, subscribe, share it with a friend, and whatever you do, try to make it to our November virtual knit
Yeah,
night on
absolutely.
November 14th from 7 to 9 Central Time. And in the meantime, Dawn and I are hoping that your week will be a sweet twist of the Frivolous and Frugal. Have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you in episode 36. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.